Hi, everybody, and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne, and we are at the historic 5th Street School. In fact, we're standing in a room that used to be used as the gymnasium when this actually functioned as an elementary school. Of course, the entire facility has been rehabilitated and is used for a lot of different events today. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later on. But first, on August 9th, there was a huge celebration over a 15-mile stretch of roadway. Does that sound like just some people looking for a reason to party? Well, this particular 15-mile stretch is the beginning of a larger project that will improve the quality of life, the economy, and the safety of everyone in our community. This is a sight you won't see again anytime too soon. This 15-mile stretch of the new Interstate 11 with hardly anyone in sight, except the occasional bighorn sheep checking things out from the surrounding hills. This GoPro video was taken just before dignitaries from the federal, state, county, and city levels gathered to celebrate the opening of Phase 1 of Interstate 11. So why is this 15 miles of interstate so important? Well, it's the beginning of a highway that will eventually link Las Vegas to Phoenix, Arizona, the only two major metropolitan cities in the United States not connected by an interstate.
Economists will tell us that in the next 20 years, we can expect to see a tremendous amount of trade start to be moving through Mexico, Phoenix, and into north. And we're so lucky that we'll be able to capture that part of the movement of that freight here in Las Vegas, because with that comes other industries and economic development, things like logistics, manufacturing. When you are part of a major interstate of movement of freights and goods, your economic development opportunities increase exponentially.
Tina Quigley of the Regional Transportation Commission stressed on this day of celebration that a project like this doesn't happen without collaboration from the federal level all the way home to Las Vegas and Boulder City.
I never have, and I probably never will get to be a part of a project that has got so much support. It's Republicans, Democrats, federal level, state level, local level. Voters approved motor vehicle fuel tax, question 5 in 2016, to help get projects like this underway. So the amount of momentum and support that this project has had is really for me, a once-in-a-lifetime type experience.
And she wasn't alone. Nearly every dignitary here touted that Phase 1 and the rest of the interstate project has only been made possible because everyone is working together.
That's what you have here at the federal, state, local, private sector, public sector coming together to make this investment. And truly, this is what should happen across the country.
Federal Highway Administration is proud to have made $400 million available to make this Interstate 11 a reality. The project has many benefits, including removing truck traffic from Boulder City and giving our truck drivers a safer, better, faster, and more direct route around the city.
This project has created 4,000 jobs so far, and when all is said and done, it's expected to create 240,000 jobs. It will make travel safer and more convenient between Phoenix and Las Vegas, and it will cut down on crowded roadways and pollution in Boulder City, while encouraging more tourists to visit the magnificent Hoover Dam and, of course, Las Vegas. So it might be just a start to a much larger project, but it was truly a reason to celebrate.
Everyone on the count of 3, 2, 1.
In a tribute to the incredible construction workers and engineers, it was only fitting the roadway opened with a parade of construction vehicles, followed by a police escort, and the first of what will be the many, many commuters who will use this interstate in the years to come. So 15 miles down here in Nevada, 300 more miles to go in Arizona.
They do have a significant amount of construction completed or underway in upgrading the interstate that they do have to interstate standards. Again, they've got bits and pieces under construction that they're moving forward, but it will be probably a couple decades before we'll see the full I-11 completed.
Well, that stretch of roadway certainly has cut down on congestion in the middle of Boulder City. It's not really expected to make a dent in the business there because people have always traveled to Boulder City to enjoy the great restaurants and shops there. Well, as we approach that 1-year anniversary of the dark evening when 58 lives were taken at the Harvest Festival, you might be interested in knowing that the garden that sprung up to help us heal is getting a little fix-up of its own. The healing garden that was started by 2 local landscape company owners but completed by thousands of volunteers is in need of a little facelift. It went up in 3 days and 3 nights as a grassroots effort came together with a goal of getting it built in time for the first Friday gathering last October. Plants, trees, dirt, pallets, hand-painted tiles, all were donated, as were the hours and hours of labor. So in order to honor that work and the items that were donated, the original landscapers are committed to not compromising the look or intention of the garden, but to make sure it becomes a more permanent place in our community.
It went together really quick out of pallets, and we knew it would be temporary, but we just needed something tactile that people could attach to, you know, bring their photographs, their notes, their grief, and attach it to that wall and share. And it's been very effective, but we knew that when we did this, that it would have to be something else at a later date, something a bit more permanent.
Jay and his business partner, Daniel Perez, are still amazed at the community involvement and the way this all came together last year.
The thought that, you know, you can scribble something on a napkin and, you know, thousands of people show up and create this, and with no fighting or arguing about politics or religion or anything, everyone just joined together and worked together.
Now, the goal is to have all of the renovations completed by mid-September at the very latest. There will be a rededication of the garden and the new wall on October 1st. They're still working out the details on that, but we will keep you informed here on Channel 2 and through all of our social media outlets. Well, as we mentioned earlier, we are at the historic 5th Street School. It's no longer used as a school, but it's used for a lot more, including some beautiful weddings. We'll have more on that when we come back. Congratulations to the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month, Michael Mann. Michael is a go-to employee in our Operations and Maintenance Department. His accomplishments are many, but here is just one area where he took ownership, improved the community, and saved taxpayer dollars. Following 2013's Carpenter 1 fire and flooding that followed, Michael was in charge of disposing of almost 500,000 tons of sediment and debris, something that would normally cost about $50 per ton. But Michael and his team were able to repurpose the materials at half that cost. Michael had similar success with repurposing sediment and turf left over from the annual Life is Beautiful festival. Rather than send this waste to a landfill, as we had been doing, Michael found an environmental restoration project at a retired gravel pit that could dispose of this waste stream cheaper than the landfill, and it's 23 miles closer to the city. During the first 17 months since switching from the landfill, the city has saved 15,000 miles of truck travel and nearly $130,000 while making a contribution to the environment. Congratulations to our Employee of the Month, Michael Mann, for thinking outside the box, or in this case, outside the landfill.
Our family is no less than any other family.
My heart doesn't see race.
Love is love.
No more pencils, no more books. No more teachers' dirty looks. School's out for summer. School's out forever. School's out with fever. School's out completely.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. And it can happen in every place.
School's out for summer.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
Welcome back to City Beat from the historic 5th Street School. You know, people come to Las Vegas from all over the world to get married, either at one of the many great little chapels downtown or on the Strip or one of the beautiful properties. But what many people do not know is the city of Las Vegas has some beautiful and affordable venues where you can hold your wedding, a business meeting, a birthday party. We've got some great information coming up on some of those venues and how you can start planning your special event. But first, we met 3 couples who moved to Las Vegas from all over the world, yet all picked the same unique place to get married.
I think we wanted something that had connection to Las Vegas, something that we felt like we can continue to be around as we grew our family, and something that just felt nostalgic.
I mean, we obviously love the look of the venue. Another thing, because Gary is a teacher, and it was an old school, and we both are retired performers, and there was a stage.
I'm a musician, so I've played a lot of golf courses, and I wanted a venue that was really original to us and something that I hadn't played at before.
And the venue of choice for all 3 couples, the historic 5th Street School. And all 3 couples say it is a choice they are so glad they made. Let's find out why. Alicia, or Allie as Edward calls her, is from Mexico. Edward is from the Dominican Republic. So they loved being able to pick and choose from a variety of vendors.
What I liked about this is that it was very a la carte, and we were going to be able to draw it out the way that we wanted to. Being from multiple cultures, you know, it definitely allowed for that to be the case.
The wedding was just perfect between the venue, the day itself, like blue skies, no winds, anything. It was like perfect 70s weather.
Everything parted.
Yeah, it was just like everything was speaking that it was meant to happen here, happen how it happened. And we even waited a full year to get this venue, which was a big deal for us because I really fell in love with it, and the wait time was worth it.
And it appears their marriage was also worth the wait. They met in 2007 through friends, but didn't get married until October of 2017. With a little bit of humor, Allie explains.
We were really good friends for 3 years until I gave him a chance to try to romance me.
So I think I was at it for about 3 years. It took a while, but you know, I finally got, you know, my goal, I guess.
That might also explain why this man who tells us he never dances never left the dance floor at the reception. Moving on to Mark and Gary, they too knew each other for many years as Broadway performers before moving to Las Vegas several years ago. Mark is in the pet insurance business. Both are huge dog lovers, thus meet Ellie. Gary taught theater at the Las Vegas Academy. And it was through students and staff at the school, along with some other friends, that Gary decided to surprise Mark with a proposal 2 summers ago at Red Rock Recreation Area after a hike to the top of one of the trails.
And what he didn't know is that I had arranged to have about 60 of my students and their parents and friends meet another teacher, a friend of ours who's a major in the Air Force and a friend who's an emergency room doctor. And they hiked to the top of Calico Tanks in Red Rock an hour before us, so that when we arrived there, unbeknownst to him, all of our friends and local acquaintances were waiting at the top of Red Rock Calico Tanks, singing an a cappella song arrangement of You Love Who You Love from the Broadway musical Bonnie and Clyde.
So of course that group had to be added to the guest list that grew to 350 people, which they say the 5th Street School accommodated beautifully.
So we did a very big, fun dance party evening. We did not have a traditional cake. We used one side of the gymnasium for a dessert bar, and we just had a big party, and the 5th Street School was perfect for us. I kid you not, they emailed us, they called us, they returned our calls and emails. They were on top of it at every step for literally a year and a half, right up until the day of the venue. They were fantastic.
On to Jessica and Tim. Their wedding actually got started at another wedding in Oregon nearly 10 years ago.
So a high school friend of mine and a college friend of hers was getting married in Oregon, and we both went to the wedding and met there in 2009.
Wow. So we knew each other for a long time, and then about 5 years later decided to kind of try it out of someone who had been a close friend for a long time and see if this was what we thought it was. Yeah. Turns out we were right, thankfully.
They picked 5th Street School for many reasons, but they particularly love the architecture, the courtyard, the auditorium gymnasium, and they said the staff was so attentive.
Our experience, I'd say it lived up 100% to our expectations. It was great to work with Anastasio and Brian. They were there along the way the entire time, helping us to have opportunities for our vendors to come in, for even some of our parents to come tour when they were in town to preview the space. And it was great.
So there you have it, 3 couples, 3 rave reviews, perhaps summed up best with this statement.
If we were getting married again, we'd go back to the Fifth Street
We would
School.
go back. We would definitely go back.
Now that you've heard from some satisfied customers, we'd like to say, yes, absolutely, the Fifth Street School is a great place to hold a wedding, but there are other great facilities, and not just for weddings. When you think about where to hold a special event, whether it be a party or a wedding, you might not stop to consider some of the beautiful spots right here in your own backyard. The City of Las Vegas has some great options you can reserve for a variety of special events. Take this oasis in the desert, Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs.
We permit weddings at Floyd Lamb, at Lorenzi. We've got gazebos and waterfront park access at both of those parks. So the waterfront right by Lorenzi and here at Floyd Lamb are really beautiful spots to have a wedding. One of our most popular here at the city is renting this gazebo here at Floyd Lamb and the historic ranch house.
But you don't have to stop at our beautiful parks like Floyd Lamb, Lorenzi, or Centennial Hills, just to name a few, and you don't have to just consider city venues for weddings.
All of the city facilities are available for rental, whether that be a gym for a basketball practice or a park for a company picnic. Runs in the parks. I permit a lot of runs for fundraising for small nonprofits and things like that.
So maybe you could consider the courtyard at East Las Vegas Community Center or the Rose Garden at Lorenzi Park for a party or event. Any park, community, or senior center in the city of Las Vegas is available to rent. They are all a click or phone call away. But don't stop looking at just the parks and recreation department offerings. The city's Office of Cultural Affairs has some options for you as well. Just take the Charleston Heights Art Center as one example, with several options of different sizes and purposes.
We've got a ballroom, which has the largest capacity, and we can put anything up to 250, 300 people in there for any type of event. We can bring in production services technicians and put together a stage and audio and visual production support as well. We have a dance studio available as well, so if there was a dance company out there looking for some rehearsal space, full mirrored walls, PA system in there as well, so that offers an opportunity for them. We have a conference room space that they can come in and rent, and we also have a 365-seat proscenium theater that's available.
Also under Cultural Affairs, you will find rentable places like the Fifth Street School, the amphitheaters at Centennial Hills and Lorenzi, and the West Las Vegas Arts Center. Robin McCartney says Cultural Affairs has worked hard to make the process easy and helpful.
Basically, we've streamlined the process to make it so that one phone call initiates the entire rental process. They call myself. I can initiate by preparing an estimate for the event. The estimate will be prepared depending on what space they're looking at renting, what facility they were looking at using, and the type of event they're looking at putting together.
Robin is just a phone call away at 702-229-5902.
I'll ask you some questions about the type of event you want to put on, what sort of services or amenities you're looking for, and I'll initiate by putting together an estimate, and I'll email that out to the rental client straight away.
Aaron says the city's Parks and Rec department can help you reserve or set up your event easily as well.
For picnic pavilions, they can go online to the city's website and reserve for a small picnic pavilion. But if you're looking to do a special event, we have a few more questions, so we ask that you call us, or our application can also be found online.
Just call 702-229-PLAY or go to recreation@lasvegasnevada.gov. So before you start planning your next party, meeting, or special event, remember, you live in a city with beautiful options that can accommodate every size and type of event on your list. Our Office of Cultural Affairs and our Parks and Rec departments, well, they're used to working with vendors, but they do have their own list of preferred vendors. They're people they're used to working with. They know that they're licensed to operate in the city of Las Vegas and they're insured. But if you have your own people, they are willing to work with them as well, including your own wedding coordinator. When we come back, we're going to show you a treehouse that's opening up in downtown Las Vegas, but it's probably not like any treehouse you've ever seen.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Welcome back to City Beat from the historic 5th Street School. You know, not far from here is the Arts District, and it's about to become home to a new treehouse. Now, before you start envisioning a cute little playhouse for children, think bigger, like a 22,000 square foot play area for big kids. The treehouse just broke ground in downtown Las Vegas, and wait until you see what it includes. You can tell when you look around the Arts District in downtown Las Vegas, business is booming. But every now and then you'll see an empty lot like this. It may look empty and sad right now, but by March of 2019, it will look like this.
It's so exciting to see real projects, real developers, real bars, restaurants, and just thriving businesses down here on Main Street.
The president of the Arts District Board and owner of Rebar and Nevada Taste Site was one of many who gathered on this spot where Treehouse will be built, 1018 South Main Street. Also on hand, Councilman Bob Coffin, who represents this area of the city, touting the unique flavor this Australian-backed and based establishment will be.
We're delighted to have a concept like the Treehouse, which you can see from these conceptions, and I have had the privilege of actually dining on some of the food they're going to serve, is almost out of this world. It is certainly out of this hemisphere. It is down under at its best.
Craig Meissen is the senior project consultant for the Treehouse and promises this new venue will be like nothing else now operating in our city.
The Treehouse project is an exciting new fresh concept for the downtown arts district of Las Vegas. The venue's earthy, natural decor and design comes from a collaboration between our Australian design team and Rad Studios from right here in downtown Las Vegas. This look has been specifically chosen to give a new feel for the Las Vegas entertainment industry.
There will be indoor and outdoor entertainment with trees and plush gardens, 24-hour dining consisting of seafood with an Australian flair and much more, 4 bars, a swimming pool, a roof deck, and musical entertainment.
1, 2, 3. Oh, well, let's broke the ground.
So ground is now officially broken. In less than a year, this $7 million mixed entertainment establishment is expected to fit right into our downtown, tucked into the Arts District with so many other boutique and unique establishments. The Treehouse is scheduled to open in March of 2019. You know, we've been talking quite a bit about reinvent schools here on City Beat. These are schools that don't just take care of kids in the classroom, of course they do that, but they also take care of the kids and their families outside of the school, whether that be through counseling, basic medical needs, even some food on the weekends. We have 13 of them now in the city of Las Vegas, and earlier this month there was a kickoff breakfast celebrating a new year. We were there for the celebration.
They die off after this great big purple flower grows.
Here at Red Rock Elementary School, it's not unusual to see students strolling the school's community garden with their parents and the school principal. It's a community where the students and their families are cared for and embraced with all kinds of extra services you would not likely find at just any school. That's because Red Rock is a reinvent school, one of 13 in our city. Members from all 13 schools, along with city leaders and other community partners, joined together on August 10th for a Kick-Off the New School Year breakfast to celebrate being part of the Reinvent School family. The breakfast included, well, breakfast and the high-spirited High Steppers. Also here for the breakfast, the director from the Coalition for Community Schools Institute for Education Leadership. Our Reinvent Schools are modeled after the national concept Community Schools. He explains the idea behind these schools.
It's really about a place and a set of partnerships where you have family members, community members, educators, administrators, business owners actually come together and put their integrated student supports, after-school programming, health services, workforce development opportunities, and they align them in such a way that those who are most vulnerable get the supports they need when they need them.
He says at most schools, staff is expected to teach, counsel, provide medical and mental health services. Community schools allow teachers to teach and community partners to step in and provide the wraparound services.
At a community school, you really rely on the will, wisdom, and wealth of its local community. You have teachers and educators and staff and faculty and administrators have the support of its local community, where they come together often and plan together to actually implement an array of services for young people.
Here in the city of Las Vegas, we are in our third year of supporting and operating Reinvent Schools with the Clark County School District. And each year we are seeing measurable achievements at those schools. That's one of the reasons you could also see incredible support for them here at the breakfast. From Dr. Lisa Morris-Hibbler, the director of YDSI, to City Manager Scott Adams, to Mayor Carolyn Goodman, as well as council members Lois Tarkanian, Bob Coffin, and Cedric Creer. There are high expectations for these schools.
We're really engaging families and building relationships. We'll see children really want to come to school. That's attendance. If we are out there and we're resourcing the hurts, habits, and hang-ups and fulfilling the hopes of our families, we'll actually see them become more stable, and that'll affect student mobility. And if we're really rigorous about combining and integrating the school day and making sure learning is happening before and beyond the bell with all the adults in the community, we'll see academic gains as well.
And while we here in Las Vegas are fairly new at this concept, we are meeting those expectations and hope to continue to include more schools in the future. Well, that does it for another City Beat. But remember, if you'd like to hold a special event here at the historic 5th Street School or any of the great city facilities we talked about, you can contact the Office of Cultural Affairs at 229-5902 or Parks and Rec at 229-PLAY. As we go to close, we're going to show you how the city of Las Vegas celebrated City Hall Selfie Day back on August 15th, drone style.